So I met Carla. I was drawn. I actually met her at a function in an annual dinner, and we started talking about writing. And I interviewed her. We met for coffee, and she started this blog because she felt passionately about not driving a car. And so if you look at the top of the blog post, Bus Chick Transit Authority. She's been living without a car and using public transportation as her primary form of transportation. And so she gave up driving because of concerns about the detrimental effects of car culture. So that's why she did it in the first place, but then she discovered the joys and benefits of it. So she started writing about it just because it was a hobby. And then it caught on. She was one of the first bloggers on Seattle PI's site. And so what happened is, which organization is she just get a job at?
Washington Transportation Choices.
Washington Transportation Choices. So she went from writing about living without a car.
Sorry, it's late today. It's Transportation Choices Coalition.
Transportation Choices Coalition. So she went from writing about this because of a hobby to becoming a transit authority. So people started inviting her to conferences. She's often asked to speak at different places, and now that's led to a job. But it's because of her passion for living without a car. So you all just finished reading that blog post, and to me, why is she successful here? She's witty, she's very funny. They read like one-liners. You read one line and it was funny, so you read to the next line because it was funny, and then she follows that up with something else. But she uses humor to be informative. By the time you're done with that blog post, you really know a lot about riding a bus and about public transportation. She also really loves writing for the web. So she's a great writer, and this happens to be a post that's a list of bullets, but she also mostly doesn't write like that. But whenever she does write, it's easy to read on the web. And she's establishing her authority not through talking about, a mission of living without a car, but she establishes her authority through stories and facts. So when you're done reading that, you feel like you want to get out of your car. You want to go and be a bus driver.
But you don't feel bludgeoned into
Yeah.
it. You don't feel shamed into it. You feel like, oh, this woman can do it. Well, maybe I could one day a week try it.
Yeah, and you kind of identify with it. So you have to wear comfortable shoes. You have to rush out from lunch in order to catch the bus. So anybody who rides the bus, which I imagine many of you do, you start identifying with it. So the other thing she does is she writes as if she's part of a community. Just Bus Chick. You want to identify with that. So when you write your social media content, even though you don't have a community, you want to write as if you have one, as if hundreds of people are already listening to you. But she does that because she's writing to a defined audience. She's writing to bus riders, and now once she started writing for Grist, because she's a mother, she also started writing about being a mom who rides a bus. So she engages the audience even though not many people might be listening. Now, of course, they are. She has quite a following. She tells readers up front what they're going to learn by reading, and then she sticks to it. So if you look at this title, You Know You're a Bus Chick If. So that one headline, you want to read the whole thing because, one, you want to know what a bus chick is, and two, you get to take a test. So she does all that, and she shares information that matters to her. So she isn't, talking about looking at the weather or getting down to Nordstrom's to shop or whatever. She's sharing information that would be really important to her audience. And this is really important. Cynthia talks about, you know what your identity is, you know what your personality is, and then you need to repeat that over and over again, not so that it's boring, but in interesting, varied ways. So one of the things I notice on Facebook and Twitter is that people talk, even if they're trying to build a following, say as a poet, they share recipes most of the time. So it's kind of the content that you share, you really want to care about it because it's important. So if you make referrals, if you start making referrals just to build an audience, right? Oh, here's a good article, I'm going to share that, I'm going to share this. You really want to be careful and share content that helps build your personality. So, next slide. So, I'm going to turn this over to Cynthia, and she's going to walk you through this, but the first step is just to brainstorm a list of blog topics that you could write for your organization. Just brainstorm a list, and we're going to give you...
Yeah, we're going to give you 1 minute to brainstorm a list of possible posts. Think of these posts, though. I mean, just take the leap with Carla's example. Think about it like, what kind of a personality post might we be able to write for our organization? Come up with a list of possible blog posts, and if you win the trifecta, if you can come up with one that comes from a personable, interesting point of view, as Carla's does, okay? So 1 minute.